please.
You
Hey,
ain't getting no applause from me, so you need to press them buttons or whatever, because, you know what I mean?
listen. Like I said, look, I'm a football fan, innit? I like to see good football. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we got to see last night. You know what I mean? That's how Ghana should have been playing if they could. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. You coming for me straight away, yeah? All right. I was actually going to compliment your dead team and say, you know what, that was a great game of football to watch.
You
But
know what? You know what? It's not my
no,
dead team. They're not my team. I just like good football. You know what I'm saying? Literally for the bants. You know what I'm saying? Had to. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't not.
yeah, draw out that dishwash cloth you put on your clothes, yeah? All right.
Listen, people, before we get going, man, you know the thing already, man. Come on, man. It's road to 500, man. You know the thing. Come on. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow the socials. Come on, man. All that good stuff. So I'm showing you where to look, man. You just pause it. You can catch it. You know what I'm saying? Do the damn thing, man. We appreciate every single one of you, man. So yeah, let's just keep pushing. But on to business. Nah, jokes aside, bants aside, yeah. Like, that's what we want to see at the World Cup, is it not?
Yeah. I rewatched the whole game. I must have started about 6 a.m. this morning, and I'm kind of the opinion that was probably the best game I've watched so far.
That's exactly what I felt.
The drama, the intensity, like, it was weird. My heart was thumping, and I was like, right, I don't even feel for either of these teams like that. But just the intensity, the drama, it just felt like a proper game of football, with so much on the line, and the hopes of nations, and specifically that stadium, just really encompassed in that one moment. And yeah, man, to be part of that, I actually really enjoyed watching it, man. And I'm so glad I did stay up, because I wouldn't have enjoyed it half asleep, in and out. Do you know what I mean? So to watch it like compass mentis and really take that in, yeah, it was enjoyable, man.
But
So and congratulations to England.
He said, "Congratulations to England." Listen,
Congratulations
people,
to
you know
England.
the
Yeah,
slander.
I've said
The
it
slander
once.
he's
That's it
giving.
now. That's it now. That's it. All right. I've said it. All right.
The
Same like I
slander
said it to
he's
Arsenal a few
giving
months
people.
ago. I've said it. That's it now. No more. All right.
Nah. We'll take that. We'll take that. We'll take that. You know what I'm saying? Like, England fans will appreciate you saying well done. But like
But
you
still,
said, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
make sure you
Yeah,
put it
no.
there.
On the way home, innit? On the way home. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. All right, we're not there
Blah, blah,
anymore,
blah,
but yeah,
blah.
let's respect it,
But
man.
anyway,
Respect
look.
it.
Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, yeah, like, that's what a good game of football can do. It can suck you in, no matter who's playing, whether it's your team. You know what I mean? Like, you could be watching a Champions League knockout game, a league phase, sorry. And if that's the kind of football that's on display, you're involved. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was really captivating. And I feel like with everything in the build up to the game, from, the altitude issues, because as lot of people were saying, like, England are making excuses already. That altitude of that stadium plays a big part, a big
Yeah.
part. And any team that would have had to have gone there would have been saying the same thing. So to overcome that, and the thunderstorms, there was an hour delay before kickoff and everything. And I feel like England, when they started, they tried to control the game, but Mexico were there to spoil the day. Like, it reminded me a little bit of, was it the Paraguay game? Was it Paraguay France, where Paraguay weren't interested in playing
Not that
football? I'm not
level,
sure.
but yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't that to that level, but they were trying to get stuck into England from the gate, man. So I felt like in the first 20 minutes or so, England dealt with the pressure really, really well. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think we've said it, that England team is very workmanlike, and I think that workmanlike mentality and that workmanlike squad was perfect for that game yesterday.
It was. Just in terms of counteracting the energy, the enthusiasm, the atmosphere that was gonna overwhelm them. It was gonna overwhelm them. That was inevitable. But they seem to have the right mentality to stand up and just fight it before working their way into the game. And I thought that was a good game plan, because if they went fire for fire straight away, I think it probably wouldn't have gone their way. So they had to contain whilst trying to control, whilst conceding possession, and try and take the chances on the break, which they did so effectively in the first half. And I was like, when those 2 goals went in, I was like, wow, oof, everything just dropped in that whole stadium. And it was like, to kill an atmosphere, you know how they say when you go away in Europe, you want those first 20 minutes to quieten the crowd. That
Yeah,
wouldn't be enough a 0-0 at that stadium. You need to score a couple of goals. You really need to get them to doubt themselves. And that worked. And you know what? I respected it. I really did respect it. And even I respected even more the fact that they held on to that lead before halftime, because I really thought they were going to cave, because it was just wave after wave, you know?
it was. But the goals were perfectly timed, and we have to talk about Jude Bellingham. I mean, there was a lot made of his inclusion to the squad, and I'm so confused how any football fan, writer, pundit, man in the pub could say Jude Bellingham shouldn't have been going to this World Cup. That is one of the
Mm.
wildest statements I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Okay, people might not like his attitude. I don't care if you like his attitude or
You know
not.
what? Let's just pause on that, yeah? Attitude? What
Yeah,
attitude is this? Is it
bro,
is it the attitude of a
I,
superstar who
I believe in
embraces
myself.
pressure, who
Yeah,
embraces pressure and is elite at what he does, and he wants to drag everyone with him? If that's an
listen,
attitude problem, yeah, then England will never go anywhere, because that's the type of player you need in your team to drag you forward, yeah, to win
100%,
massive games and to be clutch in the moment. And that's what he is. That's
100%.
what he is.
Do you know what? I don't want to get too political with it, but we know where these labels come from. We know why
Mm,
these labels are thrown on certain players, but I'm not going to get
100%.
into that. I'll leave you people to interpret that as you will. Speak in the comments, and we'll have a little conversation.
Let's
But
be real. Let's say it how it is.
no,
Let's
no,
say
no,
it
no,
how
no, 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 no. We're not going to do that. We're
oh,
not going to
you don't
do
want to
that.
get cancelled. I don't mind getting cancelled, you know.
No, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Well, I know, you know, people out there know, those who don't know and you want to know, we'll talk in the comments, innit? But like I said, yeah, whether you perceive him as having an attitude problem or not, you need big players for big moments. And Jude is that guy. Jude Bellingham is that guy. And when he comes up with that header at the back post, that's what he does. Do you know what I'm saying? And then the second goal as well, the sheer desire, the sheer determination to get onto the end of things, yeah, even
Yeah.
being in that stadium with the atmosphere, with the altitude issues, at times I was like, dude, like you need to chill out a little bit. Do you know what I'm saying? Still a whole load of minutes to go, but he steps up to the plate, man. You know what I mean? And scores the 2 goals, and England get that 2-0 lead, man. It was even myself, I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, because it
Yeah.
just the moment, just you know what I'm saying, it was just everything. But yeah, man, anyone that said he shouldn't have been at the World Cup is just absolutely bonkers, bro. Bonkers.
I mean, it was crazy. At that time, there was a rhetoric about him, wasn't there? There was a narrative being written, and it almost worked. It almost
Mm.
worked to the point whereby even Tuchel was questioning his attitude and saying that his mum doesn't like him very much and all this kind of crazy talk. I'm like, what are we seeing here? Like, this is an elite footballer who's probably, yeah, I'm gonna say he's England's most important player. He is. And so you're actually not going to take him because of what people were saying. It's
Yeah,
just
that's great.
wild. It's just wild. And now he's ramming those words down every person's throat and proving his worth and showing his worth to his team. And no one can deny him. No one can deny him. He is a top draw elite player.
But as we know, Mexico then go and score what what I believe was a poor goal to concede from an England perspective, because
Mm,
they get first contact, but the first contact isn't good enough to take the ball away from danger. And then
mm.
I forget his name now, the black Mexican. It's a
Quinones.
nice, huh?
Quinones.
Quinones. I'm not going to say that again. It's a nice shot. It's a good shot. It's a good sort
Yeah,
of half
very
volley
good.
into the roof of the net. Pickford, no chance. You know what I mean? So they get back in the game, and then it's a little bit nervy at that stage. You know what I mean? But what I will say is that I think the hydration breaks serve their purpose in this game. I think that break in between in the halves is what gave England a little bit more steam to go again. Do you know what I mean? I
Mm.
think if they had to play a straight 45 minutes, there would have been a bigger drop off. But anyway, come out, Jarrell Kwanzaa. Oh man, I, I'm
Pe-
not really
pe-
gonna. I'm not gonna. I don't even want to say that word, fire for that. I'm not going to give him, no, I'm not even going to say that either. I'm not going to blame him too much, because I think the challenge itself wasn't a bad challenge. It was just the follow through. But the
Mm,
minute I saw the replay, I knew exactly what was coming, man. I knew exactly what was
yeah,
coming. And
yeah, it was inevitable, bro. I mean,
yeah, you can have no arguments with that, can you?
no, no, you can't.
Yeah.
And it was a good challenge, but on the world stage, your leg's halfway up his calf, man. Like you can't.
Mm,
There's no way, there's no defense for that. And
yeah.
I think he looked upset, and you could see that he was distraught from that. And to be fair, as an ex-Liverpool player and a guy that I'd like to come back to Liverpool one day, I'm happy for him that it didn't
Yeah.
affect the result.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Because
in a
it
way,
would
it
have been
actually
really
made
hard.
England more resolute and better,
Yeah.
and show that they've got the grit and desire to really tough it out in such circumstances. So
Yeah.
respect to
Yeah.
England
No,
for that. Yeah, Kwanzaa, you live to fight another day. I tell you what they
yeah.
do need to do though. They need to appeal that and get his suspension suspended for a year, like my man from America. Yeah,
Yeah. Listen, but
make
but
you make the call, man. It might not be Trump making the call, but to make the call.
that kind of brings me onto another subject, slightly off the game and on the game at the same time. Some of the officiating, some of the decisions we've seen in some of the games of this World Cup have been absolutely farcical. Back to the France Paraguay game, yeah. Like
Mm,
there might as well have not been a ref in that game. That was an
yeah,
absolute joke, yeah. And I don't want to make it about undertones and certain things like that because I don't want to make our platform just about that per se. But you can't help but question people's motives behind some of the
mm,
refereeing decisions in some of the games. And even with what FIFA did with the red card for the USA player, bro, yeah,
mm.
it just smells some of the decisions that are going on. And that's not what I want to see when I'm watching football, especially on the world
Yeah.
stage.
The Balogun decision for me is the icing on the cake so far in a consistent theme throughout the whole of the World Cup. The officiating, the refereeing has been what I'd say at first was incompetent, but then it became too consistent with the incompetency. It comes like, well, there's something that's not actually right here. Not all of these referees can be this bad at the same time, at the same tournament, with the same types of decisions. It it does smell and it doesn't feel right. And you know what? What's worse is I think there's more to come. I think there's more to come because there are certain narratives that are being painted and there's certain things that look like they want to happen.
Mm,
There's certain things that want to progress. And the thing is,
yeah,
in all World Cups here, don't get me wrong, they want home nations to do well. That's fine because that's for the World Cups, for the atmosphere, it's for the crowd. But there's other things going on as well. It almost felt like they wanted France not to get through because they're the
mm,
favourites and they're the best team. There's definitely a push to see Argentina to go as far as possible. From when the president was there saying he was suffering with Argentina, then he had to catch himself and say, "Oh, actually, sorry, I'm neutral." What's going
mm.
on? And you can't say them things. You can't say them things. So it's
Oh,
like it's got to the point now whereby I'm not overly surprised
mm,
when there's blatant fouls that don't get called, when there's yellow cards that don't get given. Do you know what I mean? When there's decisions which are clear as day, and there's simple things like throw-ins.
yeah,
Yesterday in that England game, there were throw-ins that were blatantly England's, but they wanted to keep the
yeah,
momentum with Mexico, so they gave it to Mexico to carry on
yeah.
the attack and they keep the drama up. It
I
was
think yeah,
like,
that's where Jordan Henderson got a yellow card for something he was
yeah,
saying to the
yeah,
ref or
yeah.
something.
What's
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
what's it about?
yeah,
Are we gonna get a World Cup winner, yeah, who actually earned it, or got a few backhanders and sort of wriggled their way to the final and got a crazy decision to make there? It's
yeah,
it's it's
yeah,
crazy, man. It's wild to
yeah.
watch.
I hope that doesn't happen because that will just ruin the whole tournament. You want a team to win it on merit. You know what I mean? Not because they've had numerous dodgy decisions or whatever the case might be. But to the ref in this game, I felt like the ref in this game, I felt he was okay to a degree. I felt like he tried to let it play a little bit and he gave the fouls that were fouls. My only thing was like obviously seeing it back, I think the penalty that Mexico got, I think it was extremely soft. I think that was just two players going for the ball. I just feel like in that situation, what are you supposed to do? Not challenge and allow the guy to just take the ball
Did
down.
did Kane not do exactly the same thing that Modric did to Madueke in the first game for England? He kicked his feet from underneath him. The foot was high. The player touched the ball first, and his foot kicked underneath. It was the same. is Madueke's
Mm.
penalty, except it wasn't as blatant. That's all it
Mm.
was. And so, you know what, from
Yes.
when it was going to get reviewed, which is even a madness because half of these crazy decisions don't even get reviewed, from when
Yeah.
it got reviewed, you knew the ref had no
Yeah.
choice, to
Yeah.
give
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
one. And so I think
Yeah.
there was too much of a similarity there to kind of say, well, it definitely wasn't when the
Yeah.
other one was, which was quite close to the same thing. So
Yeah, that's a very fair point. I did forget about that one in the for Madwakey. I did forget about that, but that's a fair point. But at the time, my thinking was it was harsh, but obviously upon review, I understand why they gave it and what you just said. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. So obviously, yeah, it's now what was that? That penalty made it 3-2, but
yeah,
we missed the Harry Kane penalty, but that was that was always going to be baby food. And I was happy to see Harry Kane not do that stupid stutter like Guimaraes in the Brazil game. Like like just run up to the ball, pick your corner and hit the ball. Like the
yeah,
end. Like it's a penalty.
yeah.
There's no way a keeper should have a chance of saving that. All this waiting to see if he moves, malarkey, forget that. But it was a do you know what? It was a great pen from Harry Kane, but it was even an even better run from Anthony Gordon, who I think had a pretty decent game. Like he
He had a better game.
worked hard.
Definitely.
Yeah, he definitely arrived at the World Cup last night. Do you
Mm,
know what I mean?
yeah,
Before he'd
yeah,
struggled a little bit, but yeah, he definitely showed up. And I think, I mean, Barcelona fans were probably questioning why are we going for Anthony Gordon over Marcus Rashford, but hopefully they got to see a little bit of why they need someone like Anthony Gordon on the wing because he is a hard worker. He will work hard. You know what I mean? But anyway, moving on. The substitutions. Thomas Tuchel's substitutions, man. I actually applauded his substitutions. I think they were spot on. I think they came at the
mm,
right time. Like watching it, the punditry team were like, I feel like it's a bit early. But I think if they leave attacking players out there, they leave too much spaces and they're too open and they will concede the third goal. I think bringing on the subs that he brought on, especially Big Dan Burn, who looks like an absolute giant amongst all those other
Listen,
players.
I didn't even realize he was in the squad. Yeah, and when he came on, I was like, rah, okay, so that was probably about 10 minutes to go. And all right, okay, the back to the wall job starts now. And they
Mm,
kept their shape, they kept solid,
mm,
and that defensive resolution was mental to
mm.
see. I'm not seeing an England team do that where every man, hands to the pump, they're literally throwing their bodies on the line, trying to just block and defend everything. And it's like, you got to respect it and you got to rate it because you got to hold on to what you got. That late in the game,
Mm.
like, what are you trying to attack for, really? When you're
Yeah.
winning the game, just hold on to what you got. So, yeah, Tuchel, he did something that probably Gareth Southgate wouldn't have done. Let's say,
Yeah.
um,
Gareth Southgate probably would have started that defensively. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah. I mean, they took off Kane as well, and that was a risk in
mm,
itself because if they did get a lucky bounce, something rolls
yeah,
in off somebody
yeah. And it
else's
went to extra
deflection,
time or anything like that. Yeah,
they've
that
got
was
no
a big
striker out
gamble.
there no more. So,
Yeah.
it was a gamble that paid off. So I respect it. I respect it.
Yeah, I think because the game plan was basically, look, you know what, we're going to be compact, go out wide. We've got John Stones, we've got Gahey, we've got Dan Burn in the middle. Do you know what I mean? So if you
Yeah.
can whip a ball in and beat those three guys, then fair play to you. So that's what they done, pushed them out wide, and anything that did come into the box, which wasn't a lot, because like I said, Anthony Gordon out there was amazing. Like they were blocking off angles and all
They're doubling
sorts.
up both things. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. It was, listen, that was, and for me, reason why that was a little pleasing for me is because I think defensively, England are not solid at all. That back line is so dodgy for me. It's not, there's no chemistry, for want of a better word, between that back line. You see what I'm saying? Like players have been in and out, quality are spent. Um, who started at centre back? Because Gahey didn't start at centre back.
It was
It was Stone.
Stones. It was Stones.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Stone. Yeah. So do you see what I mean? But for them to put on that display, man, hats off, man. Do you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Considering they can't defend, you're right. Considering every game they've looked like they will concede,
Mm,
that was the most solid they've looked. And I wonder if that would play into the psyche when they move into the next game against Norway, because realistically, every team has been able to open them up and create chances. So the
mm.
most solid they looked is when they was really defensive, but then that detracts from what's their strength, which is basically attacking. So they've got better forward players. So it'd be interesting to see how they move forward with the Norway game because we
Yeah.
know that Haaland probably will score. So, how are they going to approach it?
It's interesting because obviously all of those centre backs in the England team know Erling Haaland, obviously, and it's going to be interesting to see how they handle him. You know, him up against Gay, he maybe how's Gay going to handle it? If it's Consa that goes back inside, how's he going to handle him? You know, does he bring in Stones
Wow.
again?
You saw what he done to Gabriel. So that Premiership, like
Uh,
knowing each
yeah,
other, is maybe going to play into his hands. He knows how to handle the defenders as well. So
yeah.
we'll see.
So yeah, like you said, it's Norway in the next round for England. But as you touched on it, man, let's just quickly talk about Brazil. Um, for me, that was a poor Brazil. That was a poor Brazil showing. I don't know what they were trying to achieve. I think they thought Vinny Jr. was Messi levels. Like, listen, Vinny's good, but I think they thought it was Messi levels. They were just gonna soak it up, give it to Vinny, and things were gonna happen. But
Mm.
poor man, poor. But in the same
It's
breath, before you start talking about Brazil, I have to give plaudits to Norway because I felt like from the start, Norway had intent and they had that goal disallowed for offside, but they controlled the game. They moved the ball, their movement. They were excellent for me, Norway. And on the balance of play, they deserve to go through.
No, they did deserve to go through. They were clinical. They were probably more threatening than Brazil. They had more control of the game. I, for me, it was just kind of sad because you grow up on Brazilian football. You grow up on the Brazilian national team being the epitome of what you fear and what you want to be like, and they're just horrible, man. They're
Mm,
just horrible. They're not a good team. They're not a good
no,
team. They're slow. They're ponderous. They've got a few star players with star quality, but they are quite workmanlike as well. And that's never what you associate with Brazil. Workmanlike. You
yeah,
you
but
you
the
associate
flair,
with,
the
with
creativity, the
you know what
style,
I mean?
yeah.
Where's it gone? Where's it
Mm,
gone, man? But it's a shame, man. To be fair, it would have been nice to have a glamour game in the quarterfinals against England, but England would have been better suited to beat Brazil than
yeah,
a
the
tougher
Norway.
defensive unit than Norway.
Yeah,
To be
I
fair,
agree.
so it might not work in England's favour, but Brazil, yeah, that's the end of that generation, and a lot of them guys are gonna have to just call it a day. Your Neymars, your Casemiros, um, it just feels like
Yeah,
it's an old team, and they need
yeah,
to bring the youth players through and let them be free and be creative because
yeah.
that structure didn't work at all.
It was a very European team like performance from Brazil, which, like you said, we're not used to seeing. But I saw it go. Brazil are out, Norway are through. So, like we said, it's Norway, England in the quarters.
Waters, yeah.
Um, that's on Saturday in Miami, so it'll be interesting. We'll be locked in for that. But yeah, people, you know the thing, man. Come on, you know what I'm gonna say, man. I'm saying road to 500, man. Come on. Come on. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell his side chick to tell her side man to tell his wife. You know what I'm saying? To tell his auntie, her uncle, all of that stuff. Come on, I could go on and on and on and on. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow the socials. I don't know when we'll be back, but you know we'll be back. So keep your eyes peeled, man. Until the next time, people.
It's